for 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold that I am sick of my...
Have you had quiet, guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night.
Who's there? Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Farewell, honest soldier, who hath believed you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Bernardo?
Say, what is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, good Horatio. Marcellus?
What has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says this is but our fantasy, but will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore, I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again the apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to us.
Tush. 'Twill not appear.
Sit you down a while. Let us once again assail your ears, which are so fortified against our story, when we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole hath made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating
Hey,
loud,
great bell! Look where it comes again!
in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
Question it, Horatio.
It would be spoke to. What art thou, that you service this time of night? Together with that fair and warlike form, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march. By heaven I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay and speak! Speak, I charge thee, speak!
It is gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? Oh, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on?
Before my God, I would not disbelieve, without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, 'tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work? I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
It might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint laborer with the day.
Well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars.
In mote, it is to trouble the mind's eye. It stops, behold. Lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Say, illusion, if thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be anything to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, or speak. Or if thou hast abhorred in thy life, extorted treasure from the womb of the earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop, Marcellus.
She's here!
She's gone. We do it wrong being so majestical to offer the show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started, like a guilty thing, upon a fearful summons. But look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him.
So yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and though it else befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think at him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, and now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth and funeral, and with dirge of marriage, in equal scale, weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. To all our thanks. Now, follows that you know young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death our state to be disjoint and under frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law. So much for him. Thus much the business is. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who impotent and bedrid scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gate herein, and that the levies, the list, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Volkman, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway.
That in all things we show our duty.
We doubted nothing, heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak a reason to the Dane and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave through laborsome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much of the sun.
Hamlet, cast thine nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust.
Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected havior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem. For they are actions that a man might play.
But I have that within which passeth show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these morning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost the father. That father lost his. And the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever an obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. For what we know must be, and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Why, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first corpse till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart to you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire. And we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Beers ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie upon it. Fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this. But 2 months dead! Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth! Must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month. Or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules within a month. Ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married.
O most wicked speed to post! With such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus, Bernardo?
A truant disposition, good, my lord.
I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do mine ear that violence to make a truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ere I'd seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king. Your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration awhile with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had Marcellus and Bernardo on their watch in the dead vast and middle of the night been thus encountered. A figure, like your father, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice it walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within his truncheon's length, whilst they distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb, and speak not to him. This to me, in dreadful secrecy, in part they did. And I with them the third night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time form of the thing, each word made good and true. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
Upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did. But answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk away and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true.
Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
You do, my lord.
Saw you not his face?
Oh yes, my lord.
What? Looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all. If you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves, so fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
A duty to your honor.
Your loves as mine to you, farewell. My father's spirit in arms, all is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come! Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them, to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. Dear sister, as the winds give benefit, convoy's assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
A Hamlet, the trifling of his favor, old of fashion, and a toy in blood, a violent, a youth of priming nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a man, no more.
No more but so?
Think it no more. For nature, crescent, does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now. And now, no soil, no caudal doth disperse the virtue of his will, but you must fear. His greatness weight, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, if it's your wisdom so well to believe it, as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, then whereof your honor makes a saying. If you would too crane ear list his songs, you'll lose your heart. Or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection. Be wary then. The safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long till my father comes. Double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second need.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The wind sets in the shoulder of your sail and you are stayed for. There. My blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou carry. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it, that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censor, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims a man. And they in France of the best rank and station are the most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan both loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. There. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
Go. The time invites you. Your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia. I remember well what I said to you.
It is in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is't, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Very well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If this be so, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affections? Pooh, you speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstances. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach you. Tender yourself more dearly, or you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love, in honorable fashion.
Fashion. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye. Springes to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends a tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. As for Lord Hamlet, believe in him so much that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. And few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, have you so slander any moment's leisure as to give words or to talk with Lord Hamlet. Look to it! I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse.
Is it a custom? Aye, marry, yes. And to my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance. So oft it chances in particular men that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, by the o'ergrowth of some complexion, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens the form of plausive manners, these men, carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else,
be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of ale doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal. Look, my lord, it comes! Angels and ministers of grace, defend us!
Be thou the spirit of health, or goblin damned, bring with thee airs from heaven, or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance. What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it.
But do not go with it.
No, by no means.
You will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee. And for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempts you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his face, and into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form that might deprive your sovereignty of reason and drive you into madness?
It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
How hold off your hands! Move!
You shall not go!
My faith cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called. Unhand me, gentlemen! By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me! I say, away! Go on. I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
'Tis not fit to obey him thus.
What issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further. Mark me. I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak. I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge. When thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I will tale unfold, whose lightest word would hammer on my soul. Freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy rod and combined lost, on each particular hair stand on end. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh God!
revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. Now, Hamlet, here. 'Tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, the serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oh, wicked wit and gifts that have the power so to seduce, won to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. O Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline on a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness courted in the shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebenon in a vial, and into the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such enmity with blood in man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with sudden vigor doth Paulsen and curd like eager droppings into milk the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and a most instant tedder barked about, most lazar-like, with vile, loathsome crust all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sins, unhouseled, disappointed, unanelled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! Most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest! But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm doth show the matin to be near, and begins to pale his uneffectual fires. Adieu, adieu, Hamlet, remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven, oh, you host of heaven, oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fine, hold my heart! And you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, I, a poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee, yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial, fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter, yes, by heaven! Oh, most pernicious woman! Oh, villain, smiling, damned villain! My tables, meet it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me.
secure.
So be it.
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord. Tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
No, I, my lord.
I'll say that what heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret.
Aye.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right, you are in the right, and so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is, and for mine own poor heart. Look you, Uncle, pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I am sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There is no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us. O'ermaster it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars, and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
By heaven.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
No, I, my lord, in faith.
Swear. Ah, boy. Sayest thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on. You hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear!
Propose the oath.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear! Swear! Hic et ubique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear! Swear! Ooh, well said, old mole. Canst work in the earth so fast? A worthy pioneer. Once more remove, good friends.
Day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here, as before, never, so help you mercy, to how strange or odd, so ere I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet, to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you swear! Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. Time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Give him this money and these notes, Rinaldo.
I will, my lord.
My good Rinaldo, you will do marvelous wisely before you visit my son to make inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Very well said, very well said. Look you, sir. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, as thus I know his father and his friends, and impart him. Do you mark me, Rinaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And impart him. But, you may say, not well. But if it be he, I mean, he's very wild, addicted so-and-so, and there put on him what forgeries you please. Marry none so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that. But, sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips as our most noted companions to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord.
Aye, or drinking, swearing, quarreling, fencing, drabbing. You may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
No, as you may season it in the charge. You must not put one scandal on him that he is open to incontinency. That is not my meaning, but breathe his feints so quaintly as they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, an unreclaimed blood of general assault.
But, my good lord,
Wherefore should you do that?
I, my lord, I wouldn't know
Mary,
that.
sir, here's my drift, and I do believe it is a fatuous wit. You laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled in the working, take you note of your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes, the youth you breathe of guilty. Be assured he closes with you in this consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase and the addition of man and country. And then, sir, does he... What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At closes in the consequence.
Aye, Mary. He closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or 'twas the other day, and as you say, there was a gaming. There are tookens roused, they're falling out at tennis. Or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale. Videla said a brothel. Or so. See you now? Your bait of falsehood takes this carp of truth, and we of wisdom and direction through indirection find directions out. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you, fare you well. Oh no, Ophelia, what's the matter?
My lord, I've been so frightened.
With what in the name of God?
My lord, I was sewing in my closet. Lord Hamlet, his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, unguarded and down jigged to his ankle. Pale as his shirt. His knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell. To speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for your love.
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. But that done, he lets me go. With his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their helps. And to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings, as oft as any passion under heavens it does afflict our natures. I'm sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That has made him mad. Come, go with me. This must be known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use it did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What can be more than his father's death that thus have put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, that you vouchsafe your rester in our court some little time, so by your companies to drama under pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he more adheres. It it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope.
Your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to freely lay our service at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. I now beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to do, I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Speak of that I do long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit of that great feast.
Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, that he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other than the main. His father's death and our or hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift them. Welcome, my good friends.
Say, Voltaman, welcome our brother Norway.
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent off to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be against the Polak, but better looked into, he truly found it was against your majesty. Whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrest on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle nevermore to give the assay of arms against your highness. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polak. With an entreaty, here further shown, that it may please your highness to give private pass to your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest.
This business is well ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time, is nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness its outward limbs and flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, I call it, for to define true madness, what is but to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true, a foolish figure. But farewell it, I will use no art. Mad let us grant them then, and now it makes that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect, defective, comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt that the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not the art to reckon my groans. I love thee best. Oh, most best, believe it, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. This in her obedience hath my daughter shown to me.
But how has she received this love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man, faithful and honorable?
I would fain prove so. But what might you think had I seen this hot love on the wing? As I did perceive it, I must tell you that before my daughter told me. What might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, have thought had I looked upon this love with idle sight? No! I went round to work, and thus did I bespeak my young mistress. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star, this must not be. And then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, and receive no tokens. He thus repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a watch, thence into a weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raved, and that we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very likely.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise. Where circumstances lead me, I will find the truth, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try this further?
You know, he walks sometimes 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does, indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him, be you and I behind an arras then, mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for a state.
We will try it.
Where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I beseech you both away. I will board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God have mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
'Tis very true, my
For
lord.
if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god, kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
Still on my daughter. But he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, far gone. Yet truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I will speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words!
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
The matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir, for the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if like a crab you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there's method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. Happiness that often madness lands on, which reason and sanity could not so prosperously be delivered of. I will leave him and suddenly contrive the meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life! Except my life. Except my life.
Very well.
These tedious old fools.
You seek the Lord Hamlet, there he is.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord. My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz! Good lads, how do you roll? As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy. Been again that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe. Neither, my lord. Anything that you love about her waist or in the middle of her favors?
Faith, her private suite.
Oh, in the secret parts of Fortune. Oh, most true. She is a strumpet. What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Oh, then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of Fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Well, then 'tis known to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Well then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
The dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light quality that is but a shadow's shadow.
Shall we to the court? For by my fay, I cannot reason.
We will wait upon you.
No such matter. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, come! Say, speak!
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. I have, of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise, and indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
There was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, then what Lenten entertainments the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
Gentlemen, You are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then! The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too. At each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts. Happily, he is the second time come to them, for they say, an old man is twice attracted. I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it. You say right, sir. On Monday morning, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in the room, he took
The actors come hither, my lord.
buzz.
Upon my honor.
Then came each actor on his task.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, tragical comical, historical pastoral, historical comical, tragical historical pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited. Cynical cannot be too heavy, nor plot is too light. For the writ and the law of liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou?
What treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Welcome, masters. Welcome all. I am glad to see you well. Oh, masters, you are all welcome. We'll aim to it like French falconers. Fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once. For the play I remember pleased not the million. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido. If it live in your memory, begin.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, enraged strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But, as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the racks stand still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new work. And never did the Cyclops' hammer fall on Mars' armor, forged for proof eternal, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods and General Synod, take away her power! Break off the smokes and bellies of her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends.
This is too long.
Regardless of your beard.
Look whether or not he's changed his color, has tears in his eyes. I pray you no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report outlive.
My lord, I will use each man to his desert.
God's bodykins, man, much better. Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping? Take them in. Come, sirs. Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Let's look here, we open. Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it. Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord and look you. Mock him not. Oh, my good friends, I will leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye. So, God be with you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metalled rascal, peak like John a Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my paid across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this, ha? Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain of vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion? Fight upon it, foe. About my brains. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick, if he but blench. I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion, rating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but From what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with the crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Niggard of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this knight to play before him.
'Tis most true, my liege, and he did entreat to beseech your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, it doth me much content to hear him so inclined. Gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, and he, as twere by accident, the hero of Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him as he has behaved, whether into the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do hope your good beauties be the happy cause of his wildness. So shall I hope that your virtues will bring him to his wonted ways again, to both your honors?
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book as such a show of exercise may color your loneliness. You're off to blame in this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we sugar o'er the devil himself. My lord, I hear him coming. Let's withdraw.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Soft you now. Fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words, with so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume gone, take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do? Crawling between earth and heaven, we are errant knaves, all! Believe none of us! Go thy ways to a nunnery!
Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell!
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens!
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry, marry, O fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly to farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers restore!
I have heard of your paintings, too. Well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, on the morrow. It hath made me mad! I say we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and the rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form. Observed of all observers. come down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells, jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy, oh, woe is me. To have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not thou way tend. Though what he spake, though like formula, was not like madness. There's something in her soul over which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger. Which for to prevent, we have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, or his brain still beating put some thus from fashion for himself. What think you on it?
Shall do well. But yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? There's no need to tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you see fit, after the play, have his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief, and let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not to England, send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.